Senior Professor of Islamic Studies and now the Faculty of Islamic Studies in the department, Professor Rashid Ahmed Bhatt sir, Dr. Riaz Ahmed, Ms. Junefa Bilal, my esteemed teacher of the dais, Dr. Shawkat Hussain Dar sir, my worthy teacher, Dr. Ali Muhammad sir, Dr. Dawud sir, my friend Dr. Irfan, Athar Shehbaz, all the worthy alumni of the dais, students of the department, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Basically, the job assigned to me is to discuss the employability of Islamic studies. It's the moment to recapitulate the memories with the department and the journey began in 2009. And I think it was the most fortunate moment for me to join this department in 2009 and to get acceleration towards the right future, towards the bright future of my life. It was really an honor to join the department and to join the hands which really guided me towards the milestone of my future. None other than the faculty of the department. If we just talk about the employability in broader perspective, it has been severely buzzed in the valley that the scope for the subject of Islamic studies is really marginalized. It's really not in the mainstream employment of the Jammu Kashmir government or the government of India. But let me tell you frankly that the subjects carried out in humanities and science are equally in the journey. If we consider the employability in real senses, it means the credible competency you have, the real eligibility you have for the employment or the employability in any perspective of the subject. Employability refers to skill advancements of the person towards the subject. If you are really skilled, Islamic studies have been, we call it the kuze mein band kar dena, after the post-colonization or after the post-modern era. Islamic studies was squeezed in little dimensions, or in the it was constrained in the kuze mein band kar dena, jisko kehte hain, really tasawwuf, ilm al-kalam and some other dimensions. We forgot about the real architectural sciences, the geographical sciences, which have been taught in the Middle East or in the Golden Age of Islam. Employability refers to demand and supply, or the scarcity of jobs in the mainstream government or mainstream public. Then employability means the process of learning. The candidate should be eligible and he should be able to learn his own flaws and move forward in the department or in the area he's working or where he's adjusted. For example, I'm in the Department of Higher Education. I must be in a position to progress and to accept the challenge and to adopt with the challenge. Then we can call it that I am really fit to the employability of the subject. Otherwise, if I'm master's, if I'm postgrad, or a grad in Islamic studies, that will not serve the purpose of the subject, and the buzz is gone. Then I have a data collected from the Malaysian government who were working on the employability of Islamic studies in Malaysia and around the globe. Their references are different, that 41% of the jobs in the Malaysia and around the globe are provided by the governments in the subject Islamic studies, and the rest are being provided by the private organizations and the different corporate sectors in the subject. Then there are the colleges which are providing the PG facility in the subject. They are 40%, and there are 60% of the colleges around the globe and in Malaysia which are providing the graduate degree in the subject. And there is also a survey conducted by the Mini Gazette of AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, which says that there are 92 colleges and deemed universities particularly which are offering Islamic studies as a subject in India. And there are 68% vocational courses in the subject provided by the different organizations and institutions. Then there are mainstream universities, for example, Jammu, AMU, JMI, which are having accreditation internationally and with UGC also for providing the program and the different courses and employability also. There are, the main thing which we need to understand is the demand for the jobs in the different streams. For example, we have the subjects of sociology, humanities, we have political science. I mean, why would we pass the word that there is no scope for the subject? And there is. I mean, most of the grads and undergrads have been adjusted in different departments and particularly in the subject as well. For example, we need to overcome the challenge which we have. We need to formulate the courses which are particularly concerned with the modern sciences. For example, we have an emerging science, the subject that is Islamic finance and banking. And there are courses which are taught in the Indonesia, and Malaysia, and UK. They are providing the programs, for example, BS in Islamic finance, BS in Islamic economics and banking, and there are jobs of more than 40,000 vacancies. I will discuss that in the next slide. This is the slide which discusses about the 40,000 industries in GCC, which are particularly concerned with the Islamic finance and banking, which is offshoot of Islamic studies, that has been marginalized in our universities. There should be a school of Islamic studies and containing these departments within. For example, we have Islamic philosophy, we have Islamic art and architecture, we have Islamic finance and banking, and these will provide jobs to the grads and undergrads throughout the globe. I mean, now we live in a globalized and a digitalized world. For example, there is now the metaverse, there is now the digital scope for Islamic finance and banking, and we need 10,000 people who are really trained in the digital marketing of Islamic banking. And the job is at their doors. If there is among you a person who has trained with the Islamic MBA in Islamic finance and banking with specialization for digital marketing, his job is set with more than 1.5 lakh salaries in Indian currency. Now, in Europe, in 2008, there was a survey that there will be in future 10 years 50,000 of jobs in European countries. This survey was conducted by IIU and International Islamic University of Malaysia. So, I mean, there is no chance or there is no buzzword for unemployment in Islam. Now, you talk about the Jammu and Kashmir, that there are 4 universities which are providing the subject or offering the courses in Islamic studies, and there are 13 people who are adjusted as professors and assistant professors, and there is vacancy for more than, I think, more than 50 people who needs to be adjusted in these, but there should be eligibility, as I talked in the first slide. There are 34 colleges who are offering Islamic studies as a grad course in graduation as Islamic studies as a subject. And there is vacancy of more than 70 people who needs to be adjusted in the college of Jammu and Kashmir, who data with me, and there are different colleges which are direct need of the permanent post of Islamic studies, but we need to struggle for that. Anyways, the vacancies are there. And there are 39 higher secondary which are offering this subject, Islamic studies, and there are only 4 people who are working. And in these 34 colleges, only 16 permanent faculty members are working as assistant professors and senior assistant professors. The scope for the employability is really great. Then we have 48% of private schools which are offering Islamic studies as a subject, and there is a dire need for the vacancies. I have received a call recently about the 4 people are need to be adjusted in the private schools for as teachers in Islamic studies with a salary of more than 20,000. So I mean there is a great scope. Then there are what our inspiration for Islamic studies is some religious taqreer or some kind of show off by any person who is mega stalwart in the subject, but believe me that you need to have a magnificent competence in the subject. The demand and the scarcity will be avoided by your credibility, by your intelligence, by your capability and capacity you have. The global demand is enough remarkable in different government institutes and different GCC country institutes. There are a number of universities who are really in dire need of faculty members. And recently I applied for this guest faculty, online guest faculty in Islamic studies, and I was asked by the website that you should have a master's degree in Islamic banking only. So we need to move on. Fine, we are on the master's degree of Islamic studies. Now the world is moved on, and I request the department as well that there should be a proposal for the School of Islamic Studies, and there should be offshoots for the courses and the degrees so that they could meet the requirements of the world and the world trends. Thank you so much for providing an opportunity of the department. I'm really grateful to the department, and basically it was a wish from the decades that we should meet with all the people whom we begin the journey in Islamic studies. And I think Irfan, Jahangir, Athar, Abdir, with whom I began to were really great mates throughout the decade, and Sir Afroz, who had been an inspiration for me, Shaukat sir, really a motivational power for Islamic finance and banking, and Dr. Imam sir, a really motivation and research methodology, and Professor Rashid sir, really encouraging icon in Islamic studies. When I presented a paper, he really encouraged me, and that was a motivation for it. And the journey is on. This is really a start, and I wish you all that you will make a mega change in the department and a real contribution to the subject, because world is really in dire need for the intellectuals and the people with the incredible intellectuality. So the demand is really in a great major sequence. So you all needed to be make yourself eligible so that you could be hired for the posts and the different positions in the subject. Thank you very much, sir.